Street food.
Rise of the Sand Badger!
Welcome back, street foodies, to the show about snacks and culture and the streets and China, but sometimes other places. Prepare to witness the rise of the Sad Badger. Now, if you've been keeping up with the season, you know this happened. I recently suffered a tragic hard drive crash. It's a long story. Hashtag Sad Badger. I lost a lot of footage of food trucks, but some of the trucks were so good that I went back again with my camera to video them again. Because if you're in America and you're talking about street food, you're talking about food trucks, and there's a whole culture that goes along with that, and I'm into it. This latter half of season 7 is going to focus on food trucks and food festivals. Now, I'm still going to be talking about culture, and I'm still going to be bringing the recipes. I know a lot of you show up on Fridays for the Chinese angle, and there's more China down the road, okay? But right now, we're going to delve into some pockets of America. We're going to see what they got in there. Maybe we're going to pick those pockets and taste the sweet, sweet bounty of the streets. And we're going to start with GastroFest. Talking about the GastroFest. Supposed to get rained out? No. Rain went south. That means it's happening. I read about this event in the paper. It seems like big cities like Jacksonville, big-ish cities, have festivals like this every weekend. Shrimp festival, crab festival. A lot of things revolve around seafood in Florida. There's craft festivals, art festivals, and these days, whether the festival is about food or not, you can bank on the fact that food trucks will be represented. In this case, the whole point of the festival was food. A lot of the culinary experts in Jacksonville came out to downtown Hemming Park for this annual food expo. So new parking might be an issue. What happened? Prime spot opens up. Prime spot. Meter's about, I gotta go put money in the meter. I think the Badger might have a little bit of a grin. Now this year it was cash only, and all of the vendors were asked to provide $1, $3, and $5 options for people to sample. So I grabbed my stack of bills, tried to put money in the meter, and it's not enforced. Free parking. Yet another good sign. I don't want to talk into this camera like some kind of an idiot while I'm walking around in public, so I'm going to fill you in later. GastroFest is a family event. That means there will be stuff for kids and dogs. Now, I know that children are more valuable than dogs, but some Americans do not know this. There's a lot of dogs and dog people at these things. Hemming Park is downtown on the corner of Laura and Monroe, and the place was packed with tents. There's a lot of booths around the Confederate Memorial. I don't know. There was a stage where organic farmers or gourmet chefs get up and take questions. Some dude, probably from the local station, I don't know, his equipment was much better than mine, and I was envious. There was another stage for local bands, and of course, local food trucks. Funkadelic was there, Vagabond Coffee, the Jalapeno Truck, Bold City Pops, it's a popsicle truck. The place was packed with people. Local organic was all the rage. All kinds of food was represented, and I tried a lot. Look, I'm just gonna give you a rundown of all the stuff that I ate. It's gonna be a lot of shots of me taking bites of things. I started with some lumpias from Abstract, a local Filipino place. They put some of their menu items up for tasting and just make the stuff right on the street. Lumpias are basically Filipino spring rolls. It's kind of hard to distinguish their flavor from a Chinese spring roll. I added some B&D, which is a locally grown and produced hot sauce. Next, I tried some of Nomi's amazing fried cheese balls. I think it's harder to get more American and Southern than deep fried cheese. $3 of cheese, I just ate. Everyone I talked to said I should hit up the Pear Farm for their Coca-Cola brisket. So I did, and I was not sorry. They played up a little corn muffin, the beef, and a homemade pickle. I also spent $1 on jalapeno lemonade, which basically changed the lemonade portion of my life. This is so good. First shot is straight up lemonade, and then, you know, the sweetness gives way to the spiciness. You want to talk about flavor stuff happening, and then, like, my throat's totally like I just ate a jalapeno. This is awesome. The brisket was excellent, slow cooked with love and Coke. The cornbread was sweet. I don't like sweet cornbread, it's basically an abomination to me. Plus, this one was cold, so it was terrible cornbread, but they more than made up for it with that lemonade. There was a whole strip of local breweries represented as well. Now, this sign from Native Son stopped me in my tracks. Vegan carrot dog. Yes? Is this just a carrot? It turns out it's just a carrot in place of the hot dog. Not impressed. I tried this soup shooter from a French restaurant. Coconut milk and asparagus. I tried some Irish empanadas from Top of That. It's corned beef and cabbage in an empanada. It was more like a fried wonton with one little cabbage leaf in it. Not a bad flavor though. Now the actual food trucks had longer lines and a more expensive menu, but I'd heard about Funkadelic for a long time, specifically about their beet fries, and I absolutely had to try them. So every good food truck has like a vibe, and that's probably the most special thing about Funkadelic is they have like this soulful vibe. There's like funk music playing. It's like southern soul food that you're eating, and then, you know, I ordered some beet fries.
She hollers back to the kitchen, drop a beet. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Like the ethos of the truck is part of why you show up.
Now, I've never eaten beets in my part of China. I don't even know if they have them. But here's how you say the dish in Chinese. These are basically home fries, but instead of potatoes, they use beets. Beets are good. They come with green onion and funk sauce. It's kind of like honey mustard. This was easily my favorite thing at GastroFest. Oh, that's hot. Now I want to show you one more truck that hangs out at Hemming Park on a regular basis. I've driven all the way downtown just to visit Vagabond Coffee. They've got this sweet little pop-up trailer. Actually, they were so successful in the coffee truck business that they opened a brick and mortar shop too, but there's something nice about getting fancy coffee from a trailer in the park. Now Vagabond serves craft coffee, which means single origin. Now I want to break this down for you. I felt kind of like an idiot about this until someone explained it to me. Single origin just means they get all the beans from one place, one crop, and then they roast them, and there's a very minimal amount of processing in between. Now what big coffee chains tend to do is they get beans from all over, and they put them together and they perfect a mixture, so that what you get is a very uniform flavor. Every time you taste it, you're tasting the same thing, and that's what some people want. But there's a lot of tinkering with the beans that has to happen to get that uniformity. Single origin is a lot like appreciating a wine. You know, the grapes grow in this one spot, and they get a certain flavor, they take on the flavor of like that region. It's kind of the same with coffee beans. So what you get with single origin is a lot of variety, not uniformity, but what some would argue is a much richer flavor experience. I'm not a snob about it, but I do prefer the richness of a single origin coffee, especially when it's served out of a sweet pop-up camper. Come on, Vagabond is awesome. Will, the guy who runs it, is super cool to everyone, and the coffee is great. I like the cortado or the shorty, which is a cortado that's sweetened with agave. Look, if you want to expand your culinary palate, then GastroFest is perfect because they've got everything from fried cheese balls and barbecue to fancy French cuisine. This kind of thing is my idea of a good time. It was well worth my stack of bills. Next week, the happy grilled cheese and a Chinese recipe are coming at you. Until then, eat it on the street. Watch out for the parasites.
Street food.
If you're in the Jacksonville area, make sure you follow Vagabond and Funkadelic. I'll link them in the description below. Chime in the comments if you've tried either of these trucks. Give them a shout out because they're awesome.